Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining another episode of the Educational Leadership Podcast. We have another very special guest. Before we introduce our guest, we do want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Ideal Impact. Ideal Impact's giving away hundreds of millions of dollars to public education. If your district needs unrestricted funds, reach out to Ideal Impact. Okay, today we have the superintendent from Batesville School District, Dr. McDonald. Dr. McDonald, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And just so our listeners get to know you a little bit and get a little understanding of the district as well, could you share a little bit about your background and maybe some details around the district, size, location, that sort of stuff?
Sure. This is my 30th, finishing my 29th year in education. And I came into education to make a difference for children, and then hopefully be able to help those believe in themselves that maybe they have not thought about what is possible. So I started as a special education teacher, and that is my passion is children. As I moved from the classroom and into administration, I really saw how pieces of the puzzle fit together. So that, of course, foundational piece of learning, but then also there's so much more responsibility that we truly have as educators and as schools to our community. And so my passion as a principal was not only to be able to have those reading, writing, and math skills that we know are important, but also those durable skills that will be able to transfer as students go into their post secondary option of their choice. And I think that really kind of hit home to me when I was a principal at a high school. And we had a student that was a stellar athlete, just an overall good person. I mean, he was an Eagle Scout, just you name it, and he did it, and he did it well no matter what it was. And I saw him in the hall, and I always wondered when people were in the hall, they're not in the classroom learning. So I was like, John, what are you doing? Where are you going? Why aren't you going to? I thought he was supposed to be in football. And he said, well, Dr. McDonald, I'm done with football. I've got to go to construction technology. And I was like, well, what are you going to do in construction technology? And he said, if I'm going to take all these AP math classes and I want to be a petroleum engineer, I've got to really learn how things fit together. And so really realizing how that career education component fit in to high level academic skills is just something that really started being of interest to me. And then also how people perceive those careers. So I think sometimes as individuals or children, we know what our parents do and what our friends' parents do, and then our what we do. So we might go to the doctor. We know there's doctors. We might go see a policeman or a fireman. So we know that there's those, but there's so many other careers that are out there. And so as a principal, I really tried to work with that. And I wanted to make a bigger difference. So being able to work at the district level really enabled me to see how that cradle to career approach really worked in a community in a school. So for our community in Batesville, our district is about 3,000 students. And our community, we are actually in Batesville, the oldest city in Arkansas. And so while it is the city that is in the county seat, so to speak, it's about 10,000 people, but it serves 65,000 people in our surrounding rural areas. So that's it is interesting to me to be able to set up systems and pathways that our children can graduate high school and have either an enrollment in a post secondary option for them, or be able to have skills to go directly into employment, or to be able to enlist. So
I,
that's kind of the background of my passion anyway.
yeah, yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing that, and I like the fact that you're looking at the overarching strategy from the time a student begins to, what's the end goal? What are they, why are we doing this in the first place? And versus just getting in the weeds on a particular thing. It's like, okay, let's focus on a career path. Let's focus on, what happens after school. And so I really appreciate you sharing that. Um, so tell me about the community a little bit. What's the community like in your area? What's the town like? What's the culture like in the district?
So I would say I would describe our community support as unparalleled. I mean, I really have not been in a district where the community supports the school in so many different ways, from the classroom and the teacher all the way up to the facilities within the district. And if there is a need, they just our community rallies around and make sure that our children have what they need. So it's pretty impressive. We have a large like a wraparound service. It's called the Hub. We have home visiting. Our district offers preschool that is 0 to age 5. So we're really able to connect with families and help them get their needs met prior even to entering school. So we're able to make that connection and build those relationships. Our community, an interesting fact is that we are the Christmas capital of Arkansas. So the
Wow.
community changes. And the first time this the year was the first time for me to experience that, being new to the community. And it was so impressive. I mean, for a community of 10,000 that serves the 65,000, we have a dedicated area of the city that is all Christmas. And it really begins setting up in September, and it goes, the lighting is right after Thanksgiving, and it goes through January. But we have ice skating, we have slides, we have reindeer gate, we have a Kris Kringle cafe, we have a ice castle. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And the what I really think is cool is every business in our city and community also has they support the city's efforts in that. So you will see different themes along Main Street, different businesses. And so it's another example of people coming together for one common purpose.
Love it. So a third of the year is Christmas,
Yeah,
or more than that.
that's right. And who can't have fun at Christmas?
That's that's a good enough reason right there for people to want to say, "Hey, I want to move out there. I want to move to Batesville." That's so cool. So what's the vision for the district? What do you see happening at your district here in the next, maybe it's 1 year, maybe it's 5 years, kind of what do you see the future looking like?
Well, I think the future is bright. And we completed a performing arts center. So we're able now to offer different programs and a stage and experiences for our fine arts, whether it's theater, choir, jazz bands, you name it, and we're going to be able to do that. It's also a way to connect with the community. So I'm pretty excited about those opportunities for our children. But what you'll see changing in the district is we're currently working on communications and ensuring that we have really strong systems and we're able to communicate with all of our different constituent groups and connect with those students, or not those students, but connect with those constituents that may not have children in school any longer. So that's something that we're working on. So you'll be able to see kind of a change on our websites and social media, LinkedIn, all of those different areas, as well as internally. We're also working on our career and tech planning for CTE. And that is really an opportunity where we're bringing in all of the businesses, whether it's advanced manufacturing or agriculture, bringing in higher education institutes, bringing in our business with financing is another area or pathway that is important in our community. So having those people at the table, but then also listening to our kids. So our core group consists of each of those stakeholders, and it's pretty impressive to see all of the work that they have done. They've worked to define the profile of a graduate. What does a graduate from our district really look like, and how are we meeting those needs? In the next few months, we'll be working on our 3 to 5 year strategic plan and really looking at those indicators and how to measure if we're meeting the needs of what our community says are important, which is, school is so important to that overall piece of the community.
Very good.
A
Wow.
lot.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You have a lot going on there at the district. I love it. So there's just so many irons in the fire, and just some really cool things happening. So, um, and all right, next question. Next question. All right. So, what are there's so many different topics going on in public education. Some districts focus on funding, some focus on like there. And it seems like it changes, right? So like there might be at times like, hey, we need to focus here, we need to focus there. What's kind of what are you passionate about right now or focused on in public ed that that's kind of moving the needle right now?
Well, I think for us, and in our state, parent choice is really important. So being able to put the district in a position so that parents see that we offer things that you can't get anywhere else. And really emphasizing how I think in one of the committee meetings, I heard one of our longtime staff members say, was repeating a conversation that they had had with somebody else and simply said, having an education at Batesville just means more. So, really being able to get out what does that mean? What does means more really look like to our parents and to our community? And so that means highlighting the good things that are going on, strengthening the things that our parents are wanting, and really being that choice, which for us, does go into funding. So you need students to be able to get funds, and you need to be able to retain them and show success and growth to be able to maintain those efforts.
Love it. Awesome. Well, last question here. Who's inspired you in public education? You
Well,
could be over the years, could be, could be another superintendent, could be anyone.
sure. Well, fortunately, I think I've had people in my life and on my journey that really have inspired me or have seen something that I yet have not seen in myself and have encouraged me to do different things. And I'm always grateful. I try to find something from each person that I interact with that I want to be able to take forward. But I really think if it had not been for Miss Smith in my second grade classroom, that I'm not sure that I would have. She made me want to be a teacher. And so the way that she made me feel and the way that she helped me learn made me want to help other people in that same way. So I feel like being a teacher, I really attribute back to her. Being an administrator, I feel like I had professors that were practitioners as well. And they made me feel like I can do this too, and I can help children. And so that is probably a combination of a lot of different people that inspired me.
Fantastic. And superintendents always have a unique perspective, unique background, unique experiences, and every district's different. And we really want to get that message out there because it's easy to think of public education or school districts as one thing, and it's not. There's just so many moving parts and so many different, communities, cultures, strategies. Just so it's always insightful to meet with superintendents and hear the great things that are happening with public education. Um, all right. Well, I guess we're going to close out. Any last thoughts before we close out the podcast?
I just want to take a few minutes to thank you for giving an opportunity and a voice to educators and to superintendents to be able to show that we're people too, and also that we serve and love children. So thank you so much for what you do.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's so true. We've met so many amazing people, and for our listeners, we've been around a couple years now, for years now. It's just crazy to think we have about 1,000 listeners a month that are just listening to all the great things that are happening in public education. And before we close out, we do want to give one final shout out to our sponsor, Ideal Impact. Ideal Impact's giving away hundreds of millions of dollars to public education in the form of a free gift. They're a faith-based organization. So if your district would like unrestricted funds, reach out to Ideal Impact. And for those that have been tuning in, stay tuned for future episodes of the Educational Leadership Podcast.